Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashy Business Show. Today is Thursday, 24th of July and I'm Abdul Majid Awan.
And I'm Warid Ahmed, and we've got a packed show for you today. Firstly, we're going to be discussing how the UK clears Abu Dhabi's 15% stake in Telegraph, ending the long-running ownership battle. And secondly, shipping billionaire John Fredriksen has listed his Chelsea mansion amid the UK tax shakeup and his alleged move to Dubai. And Saudi Arabia has announced a $5 billion investment in Syria. And finally, Raki Tourism CEO Raki Phillips is to leave for senior role at Accor.
And the very first story for today is the UK House of Lords has given the green light for Abu Dhabi to keep a 15% minority stake in the Telegraph newspaper. This approval comes as part of Redbird Capital Partners' majority acquisition of the British publication. The decision clears the way for a deal that had been delayed for nearly 2 years now.
Just to give you a bit more background, previously a joint bid involving Abu Dhabi's IMI and Redbird was blocked due to the UK's foreign ownership rules. So essentially what happened here is that this sparked a long-standing dispute over foreign influence in UK media. However, the latest legislation has now overturned those restrictions, allowing the transaction to proceed.
And the vote also saw a rare fatal motion from Liberal Democrats' peers aimed at blocking the bill from failing to pass. This signals a shift in political attitude towards foreign investment, particularly from Gulf partners in legacy British media companies. It also marks a growing acceptance of strategic minority stakes held by foreign investors.
So with parliamentary obstacles removed, Redbird Capital has announced plans to move quickly to finalize a deal. So while the acquisition still requires a public interest test, the legislative approval gives the transaction significant momentum.
And this approval sets an important precedent for future Gulf-backed investments in the UK media landscape. It could pave the way for more strategic partnerships and minority stakes, reinforcing international collaboration and British legacy assets.
I think with this entire story, it really has been going on for a while. Even weeks ago, we actually heard that Rani Rad, the CEO of IMI Abu Dhabi, actually stepped down. And I think what is interesting here is the fact that he came into IMI as CEO. He was promoted to CEO in September of 2023. They started trying to acquire Telegraph in 2023 of November. So the fact that he has resigned, stepped down in a time where the deal has finally been done and dusted, it does tell you a lot about what his role there was. But I think even more so, just to give you guys a bit more context, in fact, IMI Abu Dhabi is owned by Abu Dhabi Media Investment Corporation, which is controlled by His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the UAE Vice President, and they actually have other major media brands like The National, Sky News Arabia, CNN Business Arabic, Al Ain News, and they also hold a minority stake in Euronews.
Yeah, very big firm. They tried, obviously, they have the money to do it. And we've seen not only in media, they've tried everywhere, literally. But I think there was some part of the story that when you did the story, that you also wrote that they're trying to stop foreign owners from getting multiple minority stakes
exactly.
as well, right?
So now you can get a 15% stake in a news station, but you can't do more than one news station.
And that law most probably will soon pass as well. So yeah, if you take one minority stake, you can't take another one.
Do you think that's a good legislative law to have,
See,
Majid?
For every country, I think media, the local media channels or the giants, local media giants, they should always be owned by someone from the country. I know there's a lot of skepticism about, if they control it, they control the country, they control this, they control that. But I still think foreign ownership is problematic sometimes. Because what if that company that is coming to you, you go on and have a war with them? We've seen so many wars happening in the last, we've always seen wars happening, but in the last 5 to 10 years, everyone is fighting everyone somewhere on tariff. If it's not anything, Trump and tariffs, those fights are happening. So a foreign government can very well influence your local media, which has a bigger reach with your local audience, and change the sentiment of the people towards the government against the government. So it has influential power, that you cannot deny. But I remember the very first time my start of career, someone taught me about cross-media ownership laws, and that is one of the things that I think can control everything. And I was always for cross-media ownership. So it's like if in a country, for example, in the UAE, for example, if you have a radio channel, you cannot open a newspaper. You cannot open a TV channel. So a lot of countries have different rules regarding it, that if you have a TV channel, you can open a print newspaper, but not anything else. So that way also you can control how media stays free. Because obviously, whenever someone spends money on media, on acquiring it, they want to do something with it. There's you want to make profits, obviously, you want to make it a big media company. But obviously, there's always angling, there's always bias in news. You have to take it with a pinch of salt, every news that comes out. So,
No,
yeah,
that
there's
is true.
so much complication in the media world. I think me and Vard had this conversation.
About billionaires buying media companies?
No, the conversation that no news in the world, no headline in the world is without a bias.
No, I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
because even
it
if you
cannot be.
And sometimes this bias, by the way, it's not even something intentional. It's like if 10 stories come during the day to me, and I choose 5 to 6 of them, sometimes it's just more of what I think will resonate the most with people, or what I think deserves the most attention, and something else that is as equally important will just end up getting scrapped. And it's not something intentional whatsoever. But Majid, you know what this honestly does make me think of? For example, Monify right now. So Monify is a Dubai-based media company that was founded last year in November by Naguib Sawiris, the Egyptian billionaire. I don't know if you noticed this, but they talk a lot about Egypt. They do.
Yeah.
A lot of their video-based news formats, a lot of them are about Egypt. This happened to Egypt's tourism. This happened to Egyptian pyramids. Am I mad about it? No. I feel like more of us can know more about, the Egyptian business industry. But it is completely true. The founder does affect the kind of content that does go out. I have noticed that with Monify, they do post a lot about Egypt. But just to get on the subject of His Highness Sheikh Mansour, this is not just a royal. I think that this is a really great businessman. He's also controlling, what's it called? Manchester City Football Club. They acquired it in 2008 for approximately 200. It was 200 million pounds. And in fact, he also chairs ADNOC. Yeah, he also chairs ADNOC, and he also chairs Mubadala Investment Company, which is one of the sovereign wealth funds of Abu Dhabi's government. So this man does oversee a lot of the developments that do go on in the UAE, and we've clearly seen that they're extremely successful.
Yeah, you can understand who is important and who is not when there is a foreign visit, and the people who are there after the president or if someone is coming to Dubai, whoever the person the foreign dignitaries are made to shake hands with next is then the second most important person, right? And he's also the deputy president of the UAE. So he's always the next in line, and then His Highness Sheikh Tanoon. So you can see the order of importance, and yeah, Sheikh Mansour is one of the most important people I've seen in Abu Dhabi, in the UAE overall. He's always in the cabinet meetings where His Highness Mohammed bin Rashid, the ruler of Dubai, is chairing them. So yeah, a very important person. We will keep an eye on more. I remember we went through a period where His Highness Sheikh Tanoon was our very big focus, because he did so much in AI, in anything that he touched, he turned into gold.
I think because at that time, it was just coming to a lot of people's attention, how
because
much of an important role
I think
he
it
played.
started with the Times 100 list. As soon as he got listed as one of the most important 100 people in the world in AI, everyone was like, okay, we need to talk about this guy.
We need to keep an eye out for it. And then you had the Wall Street Journal, Wired,
everyone
all paying
did
attention.
something about him.
There is also someone else we need to pay attention to, and that's the shipping magnate John Fredriksen, which has put his beautiful Chelsea estate, the old rectory, on the market. So the 30,000 square foot mansion is among London's most prestigious private homes, and discreet viewings are now underway. But Majid is going to tell you guys why this is really important.
And this move follows Fredriksen's recent announcement that he is relocating to the UAE, our country. His decision comes amid the UK's scrapping of non-domicile tax rules, a policy change that has prompted several wealthy individuals to reconsider their UK residency.
So the old rectory features 10 bedrooms and boasts the third largest private garden in London. Now, market experts estimate the estate could sell for over $100 million, reflecting its prime location and historic significance.
Yeah, and Fredriksen's decision highlights a growing trend of ultra-wealthy individuals exiting the UK's luxury property market, tightening tax regulations, and these have pushed several billionaires, including Egyptian tycoon Nassif Sawiris, the eldest brother, the richest brother out of the Sawiris brothers, and he also sold his high-value UK assets and he moved to Italy.
So with more trophy properties potentially hitting the market, the UK luxury real estate sector could see significant shifts in the coming months. So Fredriksen's exit signals broader challenges for Britain's high-end property market in retaining global elite investors. And you know, when you take a look at a story like this, Majid, immediately what comes to mind is how we just recently saw Mohammed bin Raki opening his boutique in London to sell what? To sell Dubai properties.
Yeah.
And so, you know, this is coming at a time where we're hearing that Fredriksen is selling his UK property. So this is why this is why Dubai real estate developers are marketing in London. And this is why this is so important to them.
The back partnership with Chelsea, the football club, they're also developing something called Chelsea Residences in Dubai. So that is also, and they're marketing it to the ultra-rich in Chelsea, which is like one of the poshest areas in London. So it's a very nice idea that our developers are doing it, because these properties, like this one, it's such a nice property. I saw the pictures and I was like, such a nice property, but it's very historic. It's like 200 years old. It's been managed. He bought it from someone for 50 million. Then I remember Chelsea Football Club was owned by Roman Abramovich. He was a Russian billionaire. And he offered him Fredriksen to buy it, but he never sold it. And now since he's exiting this place, so he's like, thank you very much. Don't need the property anymore. So it's a nice place. It's a nice story. It's more importantly what's happening with UK right now. Non-domicile taxes, they're raising that. It's a very complicated tax system. So very simply, if you're a resident there, like UAE, you have residents and citizens, right?
Yeah.
Passport holders and non-passport holders. Likewise in UK, that's the case.
But you know, Majid, like just on the topic of the UK as a whole, the reason for why these UK billionaires are coming to Dubai, honestly, I find that their taxes are just completely unfair. You know, Majid, as somebody who actually worked on these tax sheets and because I'm studying accounting and finance, it is absolutely horrible. The way that they basically place taxes on them is in 3 bands. The first one is the basic one, and that's if you have an income that is up to £50,000, you get taxed at the 20% band. And the second one is the higher rate. If you're making about £50,000 to, I mean, not 50,000, right? Yes, 50,000 pounds to 125,000 pounds, you get taxed at 40%. And the additional rate, this is the one if you're making over 125,000 pounds. And the way that these bans basically apply to you is they'll apply different parts of the bands to different parts of your wealth. So you'll go through each one. I don't know. I'll show you how it's calculated. But the point is here is that it is honestly completely unfair. 45%. That's just completely unfair. That's going completely to the government, and you're still seeing that there are people who are getting stabbed in schools in the UK and they're not getting the best education. I can't blame people for packing it up and coming here. I remember even at my time, Majid, when I used to work as a sales associate, and I would meet all of these tourists and all of these newly moved people to Dubai, and I would ask them, "Oh, the people that mostly moved were either, it was so strange, it was either from London or New York." I'd be like, "Oh my God, do you miss home?" Like, you know, as a conversation starter. They're like, "You know what, we do miss home, but I love how I know that my children are safe here, that they can walk in the street, they can go to school, and I don't really really have to worry. So
Yeah. Last night my wife arrived, so I have now a first-person account of the safety and security situation. She was in Scotland, which is part of UK, and she was like, "I will never go out at night with my son here." I was like, "Why? What happened?" She was like, "No, there is no environment out to walk. The streets are filled with smokers. Here in Dubai, I know people smoke. It's very common, but you have separate areas. You have a ashtray place. You'll always see that people. Very rarely you'll find a person smoking here and there, but you'll have these ashtray places where all the people will come because they know they can't throw the butts just anywhere, right? Very rarely you'll see someone smoking here and there.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's a weird environment. Also, she went to her sister, and her sister was like, "Yeah, don't go out at night. It is very famous for getting stabbed and all that." And I was like, okay. And then she told me, she's like, "Yeah, you can't match Dubai. It's impossible to match the level of safety that you feel here, right?" So yeah, that is why I think a lot of people who earn money are in 30s or 40s, are young millionaires. They're like, "No, we don't want to live in this constant torture of, oh, if I park my car, what will happen to the car if someone will steal this or that." You just want to live in safety. You want to put your phone on the beach, go for a swim, come back, and be like, "Yeah, my phone is still there."
Yeah.
On a public beach, you can do that. So that's, I think, to be honest, sometimes I feel it's more that and less the business-friendly environment. So if you rank everything in order, I think safety and security will be the top thing for people to move.
Yeah.
The second would be, oh yeah, such a great
That's for
business
sure.
environment. You can set up a business in a week and then start running business, and people are here who will invest in your business. You have good capital.
But you know, Majid,
in
when
humans.
you see people like Fredriksen who are leaving like their hometown, because technically this is where he is from, this is where he's born. It really does tell you that we're living in such a different age, a different economy where money is moving so fast, where loyalty is fading so fast, just as quickly, where nobody really has that attachment to their hometown, to where they're from. It's kind of like where the money goes, I go. It honestly is a different time. I feel like
right?
like even like in terms of loyalty, like whenever I discuss like employment with people, everyone is always telling you need to jump the ship fast. You need to move to the next job quickly, move to the next country quickly, give everything like max 2 years. And I think that when you see habits like this, it speaks to that broader trend that we are in such like a fast-paced world where everything is moving quickly and you just have to keep hopping. You have to keep hopping and you can't owe anything loyalty, not even your own hometown.
Yeah, it's very simple to make sense of it that again, you go back to history and you look at Europe, everyone from underdeveloped economies and developed economies, everyone wanted to move to Europe. Why? Because Europe promised that safety and security. Europe promised that capital security, that, oh, if I invest in a business, I will earn something. You look at my region, you look at your region, you look at Middle East, you'll find so many Syrian, Lebanese, Palestinian, Jordanian, all these people, you'll find them in Europe, and you go and ask them, and now I think they're in their third or fourth generations, and they were quite happy there. It wasn't a bad place. I don't know what happened. I think it's just the natural process of the world that whatever economy or whatever thing goes up has to come down.
I think that's just classic brain drain, but I think for me, my point was just...
But now, you have to look at if you look from an outsider's perspective, now the brain drain is moving towards the Middle East. Everyone wants to leave their country and come here.
Yeah,
right? And
that's true.
I think it's less about loyalty. It's more about the financial security of their family. To be honest, I'll give you very simple maths just to understand, because a lot of people in their conversion maybe can understand. In Pakistani rupees, if you send 1,000 dirhams from here,
that's a lot of money.
It's nearly 76,000 Pakistani rupees. So $1,000, 76,000 Pakistani rupees. You can run a small 2-people home in it. And if you own the house, you don't have to rent. You can run like a 4 or 5 people family in that money. For us, 1,000 dirham, I think is.
But don't you think that's why maybe some of some South Asians who are maybe living here in the Gulf are struggling? Because I do feel that maybe a lot of them, like say one of them made 10,000 dirhams, they're probably sending like half of their salary or even more to their families and just struggling alone.
Remember this, that they are building something in their house, like country back. So they will eventually, after like 10 years of working or 15 years of working, they'll build a small house, own it. They'll start having small things that if they were in Pakistan, they wouldn't be able to do it.
See,
So in Pakistan, for example, if a person is sending 1,000 dirhams, let's take that as a base, he's sending 75,000. That's not going to be his salary in Pakistan. So whatever he saves here, he sends more. So I think his salary will be 55, 60,000.
Yeah.
So the savings that you do here mean more. So that is why I think these countries work also.
I see what you mean, but I meant it in the sense of like, I feel like people's needs are shifting in the sense of like, for example, I'll give you myself. My dream to be journalist. That is exactly what it is. But there might be someone else who, if they were in my place, they would think to themselves, okay, fine, if somebody offers me like a marketing job right now, I'm a journalist, they offer me a marketing job that's like, I don't know, pays 30,000 dirhams, they'd be like, fine, I'll take it right now. I go where the money goes. But to me, that's not how my logic works.
Eventually, everyone's
logic
will work like that.
I know you're saying that, no, but to me, it's about being in that specific career that I want to be in and that kind of specific growth that I want to be in. And I'm saying that people's priorities have shifted in the sense of throughout time, it's almost like people are just going after where the money is. Whether they're good at it, whether they're not, whether it's their dream, whether it's not, this makes me the most money, I will go after it.
So do you think it's right or wrong? That's the question.
No, I think it's completely right. I'm not judging anyone, but I'm just saying like times have changed. You know,
it has always been
they
like
have.
that,
I really don't think things are the same anymore. And it's like and the reason why I'm saying this is because I hear it in the way that people speak.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
I would just say a lot of people. Obviously, I've worked for 15 plus years now. Whenever someone came to me for like a young cousin or a friend, like, oh, what do I do? Do I move or not? I just always said, whatever difference is they're giving you. For example, if you're earning 100,000 in Pakistan per month and they're giving you 150, look at the 50,000. Does it add more value to your life? So the difference should add value to your life. For example, if I work here and I get paid something and someone offers me a difference, or take this much more amount and come. I look at the difference and then I look at the value that it gives me. If it doesn't give me value, if I have to go to Abu Dhabi every day for it, or if I have to like put extra cost on my clothing, put extra cost on this, but eventually it will be the same amount. Whatever extra they're paying me, I will put it into this, the teas and the coffees and the meetings. So it's useless. You just have to see if that money makes sense in the value sense.
I'll give you a good example, Majid. Like for example, when I see so many people speaking to like my parents, right? And they tell them about their jobs. And if my parents ever, like my parents are the kind of people, if they hear young people complaining about a job, they're gonna be like, no, like you're so young, like you should be so grateful, like this is such a great position. And I'm saying that kind of loyalty, that kind of vision does not exist anymore. Especially with Gen Z. You do not give them what they want within a year, max 2 years.
Bertha's talking about
they
herself.
Move quick. No, but it's true though. No, it's true. Like for example, I see the change in generations. It's because like Majid, I have my grandmas living with me, and then I have my parents, and then me. So you see how it goes, and it's like with us, we are the kind of generation where if something does bother me, it is not going to take me 3 years to take a reflection and be like, I don't like this. I notice very quickly, and I respond very promptly. That is just the way that this generation is. It's like you move to what does benefit you.
I saw this one founder, but he's an Indian founder. It was a video in Hindi, and he said a very nice thing. And your point is exactly that. And he's like, there was one generation which started everything, which started building a house and started building a life. So they were working for survival. Then as soon as they brought another generation, that generation worked for quality of life. And then came the next third generation. The third generation doesn't want survival. They have houses and everything. Someone built it for them. They don't have to have quality of life.
That's a good
because
point.
by rule now they will need quality of life because it's the part of work culture. they need some meaningfulness in whatever they do.
Exactly.
That
is what I'm saying. And when you're seeing so many young people who are extremely successful, who just blew up out of nowhere, you look at yourself and I'm like, I don't have to accept this reality.
Yeah.
Like, I could go for more. And I think this is what I meant in the sense of that people's priorities are genuinely shifting. Like, where you're from, the home where you are, the
But I
loyalties
still
that you
think
have.
everyone has a price. I still think if I really, if I am someday a founder and if I see someone and I know this person makes sense to my business, my work, I will go beyond my means, or like at least if I have a standard for this position, I will go beyond it, because if I want that person and I know that person will have a price tag. It's very common. It's just that it will be above market price,
Right.
and I will happily pay for it, but because I want that person. It's like Meta, Mark Zuckerberg right now. He's paying AI engineers hundreds of millions of dollars just to join, signing bonuses of 100 million. And then in a year, they have targets. If they achieve those targets, they'd get 300, 400 billion in bonuses, salary aside.
That is
So
crazy.
you do go, and obviously those engineers, when they were working and wherever they were working in, they will be like, no, we'll stay at OpenAI, we'll stay at X. Obviously they would have these ideals, but Meta, he was like, no, I know everyone has a price. So in job terms, I think everyone has a price. Business, I think some people have this this idea that they'll never sell a business, but I still think every business also has a price. Every founder, every person, even Meta. Today, if someone can offer something great, like above market or 2x of what Meta is now worth, Zuckerberg will sell it. I still think even Zuckerberg's projects have a price.
Yeah.
It's just too impossible to pay, but it is there.
But you know
So,
what,
yeah.
guys? Even Syria has
Oh,
a
yeah.
price. And Saudi Arabia, in fact, has given them $5 billion in investment and partnership deals aimed at rebuilding Syria's war-torn economy. So a delegation led by Investment Minister Khalid Al-Fallah visited Damascus to promote projects across vital sectors, including real estate, infrastructure, energy, and tourism.
And among the initiatives, Saudi-backed Northern Region Cement Company inaugurated Syria's first white cement factory in Adra industrial city, creating hundreds of jobs. Very good for people of Syria now. Another major project is Al Johra Tower, a $100 million project. It's a 32-story skyscraper in central Damascus, symbolizing renewed economic ties.
So this visit follows Syria's recent amendment of its investment law aimed at attracting foreign capital and boosting private sector involvement in reconstruction. It also comes as Saudi Arabia and Qatar, basically earlier this year, they helped to resettle Syria's $15 million debt to the World Bank, and they're also paying Syrian government salaries.
Yeah. And trade between Saudi Arabia and Syria has surged, with non-oil Saudi exports to Syria increasing by over 150% year-on-year. Imports from Syria to Saudi Arabia grew by 150%, reflecting a revival of economic exchange after years of conflict and diplomatic freeze.
And so this economic revival follows Saudi Arabia's reopening its embassy in Damascus in 2024, ending a 12-year hiatus. Now, the renewed partnership signals Riyadh's commitment to Syria's reconstruction and a broader effort to stabilize and rebuild the region. But I think much more than that, Syria, it is such a strategic location. And the Syrian culture, you have so many people from different religions, from different communities, and I think that does have to do with why Saudi Arabia is stepping in. It is a strategic location.
All these, I think Syria right now as a whole is a strategic position. They're growing, they're better. Everyone should invest. UAE should invest also. But
They have. They actually have. DP World.
Yeah, DP World is on ports. But I think right now, what I want to see in Syria, everyone just going every day and be like, I'm announcing this, I'm announcing this. And I just feel happy because I still remember we talked about it when the whole conflict ended, Bashar al-Assad left. We had this conversation that the best thing that they have to do for the next 6 months is just plan how they will get back, right? And it's just how they will bring the economy back on track. And finally, we see that it's happening slowly and gradually. And some foreign elements, we should not name them. Actually, we should. Israel are trying to still bomb them and go in and do whatever they want.
And like, that's why you need Saudi
Yeah.
to counter that
Yeah,
influence. I think
but
it's really
I still
important.
think Syria is on the best path right now you can imagine, and I love seeing it because it's part of our region. It's part of the region.
I love their food.
Yeah.
Syrian food is insanely good. It really,
I
really
think
is.
Marwa is from Syria, right? Marwa, yeah. So we have people from Syria working here as well. They're also happy that the country is back on track, right? It's
Yeah.
very important.
And
yeah.
for our final topic of the day, Raki Phillips, CEO of Ras Al Khaimah Tourism Development Authority, has basically essentially stepped down from his role to join Accor as regional president. So he will oversee premium, mid-scale, and economy brands across the Middle East, Africa, and Turkey.
And starting in November, Raki Phillips will lead over 250 hotels in 27 countries from Accor's Dubai headquarters. This move marks his return to the hotel giant where he previously held senior leadership positions. And during his tenure, Phillips played a key role in transforming Ras Al Khaimah into a tourism destination. He licensed more than 60 hotels, developed a pipeline of 15,000 key hotels, and his biggest crown jewel, I think, would be securing Wynn's $5.4 billion gaming resort, the UAE's largest ever foreign direct investment.
I mean, why wouldn't any company
Yeah.
want him? So his departure comes as Ras Al Khaimah targets 3.5 million visitors annually by 2030. His successor will take over a strong pipeline of hotel projects, including major new openings on Al Marjan Island.
And at Accor, Phillips is expected to accelerate growth in one of the world's most competitive hospitality markets. He will report directly to Accor's regional leadership, steering the group's expansion across multiple continents. And yeah, that's it for today. I think
Yeah.
we did discuss the second story
We
a
did.
lot longer.
And that's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Smashy Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels at Smashy Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.
This has been a Smashy Business Show, a Smashy Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. A big shout out again, every day to our 2.1 million monthly listeners across all platforms. You make this possible. If you're one of them, we appreciate you. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.